So, today we're going to dive into a story that takes a concept we all think we know, karma, and just flips it completely on its head. Now, this isn't about some cosmic scorecard or what you did in a past life. No, this is a raw, deeply personal journey, one that goes through absolute devastation to arrive at this profound, really unexpected understanding of what it means to be human. And it all kicks off with one single shocking moment. Yeah, that's where it begins. And let's be clear, this is not a fable. This is the literal, bone-crushing event that sets this entire story in motion. An encounter that would completely shatter a man's body and, for a long while, his spirit. So, after that accident, you can imagine, the man finds himself completely and utterly helpless. I mean, think about it. He's gone from walking confidently through the world to being trapped in a hospital bed. His entire universe just shrinks down to the four walls of his room and the very painful limits of his own broken body. I mean, the way his state is described, it's just so visceral. His leg is shredded. The pain isn't just a sensation, it's insulting. He has the freedom of a fallen tree. You see, this wasn't just a bad injury. It was a total loss of dignity, a betrayal by his own body that left him completely dependent on other people for, well, for everything. That's actually his response when a cousin tries to cheer him up, saying he's being served like a king. It's a flash of really dark humor, but you can feel the deep humiliation right underneath it. This so-called throne is just a constant, painful reminder of how powerless he's become. And that's what it all boiled down to. His entire existence just became this series of whispered pleas. Can you help me? Could you please lift me? You know, that constant state of having to ask, of needing, it just chips away at your sense of who you are until you feel like you're nothing more than a burden. And that, of course, leads to the big question, the one we all ask when our world falls apart, right? Why me? He's just wrestling with the fairness of it all, trying to find some reason in the chaos. He feels like he's being punished, but he has no clue what the crime was. But right when he's at his absolute lowest point, the story pivots. He's in an ambulance, on his way to a critical doctor's appointment, and suddenly he's confronted with someone else's suffering. And right there, he has to make a choice that is going to change everything. So he sees this crowd on the road, and he tells his driver to stop. And the scene is just chilling. There's a young boy hit by a car, lying there bleeding on the road, and a whole crowd of people are just watching. Nobody's doing a thing. The ambulance driver just lays it out for him. It's fear. People are afraid of getting tangled up with the police, of complications, of being involved. It's this stark, awful picture of the bystander effect, where everyone's responsibility suddenly becomes no one's responsibility. And right here, this is the turning point. In his moment of greatest physical weakness, our narrator finds this incredible, unbelievable source of strength. While all the able-bodied people just stand there, he, the broken man on the stretcher, gives a command. His voice is iron. He absolutely refuses to be another bystander. So let's just break down what's at stake here, okay? On one side, you've got his own critical doctor's appointment. I mean, he waited days for this. His whole recovery could depend on it. And on the other side, the life of a total stranger, a kid who might not have more than a few minutes to spare. He chooses the boy. He chooses to put his own urgent needs aside for someone else. So they get the boy to the hospital just in the nick of time, and our narrator somehow manages to make his own appointment. But the story's not over, not by a long shot. On the way home, it seems like his good deed is about to be punished, severely. Turns out the universe doesn't always give you an instant reward for doing the right thing. They're driving back. And then they hear it. Just a single, ominous cough from the engine. And that's followed by a complete, heavy, unnerving silence. That's it. The sound of everything just giving up. They are completely and utterly stuck. And just look at where they are. This isn't just a breakdown on a busy road. No, they are stranded in a dark, isolated stretch of forest. No lights, no houses, nothing. Just pitch black darkness and a very, very real fear of what might be lurking out there in the shadows. The compassion they showed has led them straight into an absolute nightmare. But just when all hope seems totally lost, the story shifts again. Help arrives, not because they called for it, but because it just shows up. And this is where the real heart of the story, its true theme, starts to come into focus. A truck driver stops. They didn't even have to flag him down. And when the narrator asks him why he would possibly do that, this is his simple, profound answer. It's this beautiful statement about our shared vulnerability, about our shared humanity. He's not just helping a stranger. In a way, he's helping a future version of himself. So the truck driver leads them to a workshop that should be closed, but the mechanic is still there, hours after he should have gone home. He can't explain why he waited around. He just has this feeling, a sense that he was there for a reason, that he was meant for this exact moment. It feels less like a coincidence and more like, well, like fate. And this is the real kicker. After fixing their ambulance, the mechanic refuses to take any money. His only price is that they pay the kindness forward. You see, he's not closing a transaction here. He's keeping a circle of compassion moving. As the narrator is finally getting home, he's thinking about this incredible chain of events, and it all just starts to click into place. He went out of his way to help someone in desperate need. And then, when he was in his own desperate situation, a series of total strangers went out of their way to help him. A circle was completed. And this brings us to the story's powerful new idea. Karma isn't some invisible force balancing good and evil over lifetimes. It's something much more immediate, much more human. It's the compassion you put out into the world literally making its way back to you, often when you need it the most, through the unexpected hands of other people. And that's the core idea this story leaves us with. And it's a big one. It totally reframes the concept. What if karma isn't something that happens to you? What if it's something you become? By choosing to be the help someone else needs, you become a link in this human chain of compassion that in the end supports all of us. In the end, after all the pain, the humiliation, the fear, the story lands on this one simple, powerful word: grateful. The narrator is no longer asking what he did to deserve his suffering. He's just grateful. Grateful for the compassion that found him in the dark. He's still broken, sure, but he is no longer alone.